Hello, viewers. It's another day with your fertility specialist. Greetings from House Hospitals. And we love to say a very big thank you to our dear viewers for liking our post, for sharing, for also getting connected this afternoon. Share this link with someone as we get started. Yeah, I remain your host, Ruth Ogogo, and I'm always excited to be with you every Wednesday. Today, we're talking about age and fertility. And yes, to give us a very great insight into this topic, we have Dr. Kenneth Eguda. Yeah, our star for the day. So, a lot of you have heard about Dr. Ken, but so for someone that is joining for the first time, or for someone that is watching our chat for the first time, Dr. Kenneth Eguda, he's a consultant gynecologist. He's
A good consultant
Oh yeah,
gynecologist.
you can say that again.
Point of correction.
Oh yeah, he's one of the best spec that we know.
Oh
Yeah, he's also a fertility specialist. He's also an IVF specialist, like one of the best IVF specialists. If he's not even ranking one of the best in the world right now, yeah, he's also a minimal access surgeon. He's a minimal access surgeon. Yeah, and these are just but a few that you could know about. In our last chat, I said maybe one of these days we'll read his biography so people can know about Dr. Ken and his amazing personality. So he's going to be talking about age and fertility today. Dr. Ken, is always good to be with you on set.
yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. So today we're talking about age and fertility. Yeah. A lot of times we've talked a lot about fertility, and most of the time we just find ourselves getting into the age talk. But I think today we should really, really dwell on this age
Mhm.
and fertility. What's the impact? Or okay, maybe we should first of all talk about the risk factors that affect fertility as a man and a woman ages. As the age, what are the things that um what are the likely things that you look out for in their fertility life that you say, okay, age actually has an impact on this? Yeah.
All right. Thank you very much for that introduction.
Hmm.
Mhm. Yeah. Age is very important to me. I'm actually doing a study on age right now.
Mm.
You know, I love the topic aging,
Hmm.
and all my friends know I like talk about aging, and I'm looking forward to the near future where people don't have to age. Yes, I'm talking about being
Mm.
youthful eternally.
Yeah.
Yes, and we know that a whole lot of researches are going on in the world today about aging and how to
Yeah.
reverse aging, or how to delay aging. I think
Hmm.
preferably use the word delayed aging.
Yeah.
And anytime any book comes out about age, I have some good friends in European society who gets the book right from Amazon and send them to me.
Oh
So
wow.
I just got one now, and the title of the book is Why We Die.
Oh.
Why We Die,
Hmm.
and it's all about aging. you
Hmm.
know Why We Die, it's about aging.
Okay.
It's a book written by experts in
Wow.
molecular biologies,
Hmm.
the finest in the world. I'm talking about,
Oh
Why We
wow.
Die. So, and aging is a gradual thing,
Hmm.
and the reason why we have natural death is aging. And death is a gradual thing. As
Hmm.
you're aging, you're dying.
Oh wow. Yeah.
Yes, as you're aging, you're dying. And the cells in the body are dying. you know
Yeah.
some have programmed cell death.
Hmm.
And incidentally, the ovaries is one of those organs
Wow.
that have programmed cell death.
Wow.
Yes, a woman can still be alive and her ovaries are dead.
Oh no.
And of course, for even the man, the sperms don't necessarily have the programmed cell death as drastic as the woman.
Hmm.
But then the qualities of everything deteriorates, and then the quality of the gametes die. For the woman, she have programmed cell death, then the quality of the eggs
Hmm.
are depreciating or
Yeah.
declining. Then the number of the eggs that she has, I'm talking about the oocytes, what
Yeah.
they call the ovum
Hmm.
in biology,
Yeah.
also reduce in quality. So the prospects of now having a good outcome and in this case talking about children,
Yeah.
offsprings, also reduces. So chances of having abnormal babies, it's higher,
Mm.
whether because of aging eggs or because of aging sperms.
Yeah.
Having syndromic babies, the chances are
Mm.
also higher because of aging eggs and aging sperms
Yeah.
with respect to the man. So aging actually has nothing good about it. There's just nothing good about aging,
Mm.
and that is why, and that is why, soon, hopefully,
Yeah.
aging will be classified as a disease.
Okay. Hmm.
Every old person is sick,
Oh,
whether anybody wants to
well, that's why
accept
they
it.
say forever young. Everybody wants to be forever young.
Yes, because
Mm.
aging is a disease, whether anybody wants to accept it or not. Because you see,
Yeah.
when you're getting older, you're having bone problems,
Mm.
call it joint or arthritis,
Yeah.
eye problems,
Mm.
dental problems,
Yeah.
skin
And all.
problems.
Mm.
Even your muscles have problem. The muscles
Yeah.
becomes flabby and
Mm.
less strength to the muscles.
Yeah. Yes.
And the blood vessels become stiff. Hypertension results from
Sets
that.
in.
The
Mm.
heart function wanes, and a
Mm.
whole lot of things. So
Yeah.
you don't see properly. The
Mm.
sight gets impaired.
Yeah.
Then the risks of having diabetes and other
Mm, mm,
metabolic
mm.
diseases increases with aging. So
Yeah.
aging is actually bad,
Oh,
and then people die.
but they say age is grace.
No, no, people say that
Mm,
actually to make themselves feel good. It's all right to feel good when you're aging. You
mm.
have experience when you're aging. As to say, you've seen a lot of things in life,
Yeah.
and those experiences come because of what is you've exposed to. But then back to fertility, for instance. And what was that
Yeah.
your question again?
I said okay. Dr. Ken, you know, sometimes Dr. Ken just has a way of occupying you that you even forget where you are. Like you just forget what you're talking about, and you're so
Aging,
engrossed in the talk.
aging.
Yeah. So we're talking about the way it affects a man, a woman, yeah,
Okay.
fertility wise.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So there is a decline in the quality of the gametes. The
Mm.
gametes could be the sperms and the eggs. The eggs or the ovum or the oocyte belong to the woman.
Yeah.
Then the sperms belong to the man. The
Mm.
qualities and number and the function all decline as we age. So that's the way it affects them.
Mm.
So the quality of all of those decline. Sometimes I go for wedding ceremonies. I
Okay.
can't remember when last I went for one though,
Mm.
but occasionally I go to for wedding ceremonies when I'm invited. And while people are celebrating and dancing,
Yeah.
what goes through my mind, it can be so funny, so weird sometimes. I'm
Yeah.
like, okay, how old do you think
This.
this woman is?
Yeah.
And how old do you think this man is? Yes, uh, agreed. Wedding ceremonies or marriages are not because of are not just because of
Procreation.
procreations.
Yeah.
That for a lot of other reasons. Okay,
Mm.
people get married, companionship, for happiness, for political reasons, for
Yeah.
business reasons,
Mm-mm.
and for criminal reasons.
Even for social reasons.
you know
Yeah.
so those are all the reasons why people. But
Mm.
then in Africa, for instance, one of the things you don't take away from marriage is the need to have babies.
Yeah.
And
That's
so
true.
when I find myself in these circles, for instance, I always wonder, what's the prospects, what are the
Mm.
probability, what are the odds here?
Did they check themselves?
Yeah, did they
Are they?
check themselves? Sometimes the age could be telling on, you could be showing in the, I mean,
Mm.
in the
Their
faces or
physique.
physique of one of them.
Mm.
So I would be wondering what's really happening here.
Yeah.
And then those are the weird things that comes to mind for me. But
Yeah.
then I don't blame myself because I've been wired by training to
Yes.
think this
That way.
way.
Yes.
Yeah.
True.
And the society also, when you get married, for instance, they want to expect you pregnant
Yeah.
quickly. Even
Exactly.
when you don't intend to, the pressure makes you to want to get pregnant.
Pregnant.
So
True.
yes, so age is important when you get to those kind of relationship.
Mm.
Even for business, you need good age for business.
Yeah. That's true.
You do
Age.
better business when you're younger.
That's
It's
right.
only politicians that do well when they are old.
We are yet to see understand why. Especially in this part of the world.
No, every part of the world right now. Every part of the world, you have old guys in politics, but good enough. In Europe, for instance, you still have the 30 years being
Mm-hmm.
prime ministers
Yeah.
and chancellors, and
Yeah.
all of that. Then the 40s being
Yeah.
presidents and all of that. But then that is half the age of what we see in Nigeria, for instance.
Maybe that's a form of fulfillment. Maybe that's why we have the elderly people thinking politics.
Oh yeah.
Okay, well, yeah. So, sometimes I know there's sometimes back. I know you talked about biological age for a woman and
Mhm.
chronological age, which could differ for
Mhm.
some
Mhm.
people. So, at what point do you see a woman's fertility decline with respect to her biological clock and her chronological age?
Yes, so biological age and chronological age affect, I mean, it's now for both men and the female.
Female.
While we were younger, maybe during our residency periods,
Yeah.
the knowledge about sperms were not great then, so we have a lot of knowledge about the female and the eggs,
Mm.
and so the chronological age, which is the date of birth till now for a woman,
Yeah.
and the biological age is the age of function of the
Mm.
reproductive organs,
Oh,
of
okay.
a woman at that point in time.
Mm.
So we have all of that for women. We also have that for men right now.
Okay.
Yeah, the past 2 years or 3, 4 years ago, we
Yeah.
begin to have more insight into the nature of the garments of men,
Okay.
and there's nothing so nice about it,
Mm.
so but then uh the biological age of a woman, for instance, differs.
Okay.
You know, some women biological age, you know, could be lesser than some others.
Oh,
This is with
wow.
respect to the ovarian function,
Okay.
because you have some women at the age of 40, for instance, still
Yeah.
produce some good enough eggs, while
Mm.
a good number of women at 40 don't have viable eggs.
X.
So you see,
Wow.
the biological age is different. But
Mm.
all things being equal, for normal women, by the time they get to 35, there is a very drastic decline
Mm.
in the quality of eggs,
Wow.
and the quantity of eggs that a woman has. That
Wow.
is a woman whose life is cycling normal.
Mm.
By 35, there is a marked reduction in the
Mm.
number of eggs, and from that point it goes drastically
It
till it's
didn't
till it goes out
out.
completely.
Wow.
So then this means that a woman cannot just vouch that she could just get pregnant at the speed
Yeah.
of thought,
Mm. Yeah.
you know as at when she was like 2019,
Mm.
and when she doesn't even know that she has sex, and then
Mm.
pregnancy is already there. you
Yeah.
know so now, at the 35, for instance, that's the watershed edge for
Mm.
normal women.
Yeah.
So the reproductive potential drops very drastically.
Drastically. Okay.
So the rate of miscarriages are higher. The
Wow.
rate of having abnormal babies based on the egg I mean the age of the
Quality.
woman is higher,
Mm.
and the rate of having difficulty with conception is also higher.
Higher. Wow.
The miscarriages are higher. Then the
Mm.
frustration,
We're trying to
for not
conceive.
getting pregnant is also
Yes.
higher.
Mm.
If you're pregnant at this age in England, for instance, or United States,
Yeah.
you're going to be put through
Wow.
a lot of investigations,
Mm.
and the things they're looking out for is the probability of having an abnormal baby,
Congenital. Mm.
because sometimes having an abnormal baby is going to grind you. You may
Mm.
not be able to go to work. You may have a
Yeah.
lot of hospital visits. You may need to do
That's true.
homeschooling. You may need
Yeah.
special care and
No.
all of that.
Mm.
And those are those are the things that happen when you have this decline in age. But when you go to biological age, for instance, a
Yeah.
woman can be 20
Mm.
or 25
Yeah.
and have no good eggs.
Wow.
Yeah. So for such women, a lot of genetic abnormalities probably had played through, or she had
Mm.
been exposed to a lot of hostile environments,
Wow.
radiation, medication, and all
Mm.
of that,
Yeah.
or she's syndromic
Hmm.
and then may not have good eggs, even at the age of 25.
Wow.
And a good example of them are women with Turner syndrome. We have
Okay.
Turner's mosaic, for instance.
Okay.
We
Mm.
have the classical Turner syndrome, where women don't have eggs at all.
Wow.
Then you have a Turner mosaic, for instance. They look like normal women. They
Mm.
have breasts, but the breast may not be fully formed.
Mm.
You know, uh, poorly developed nipples, but you could have this bump of a breast there, breast tissue. But if
Yeah.
you do close examination, you see that this breast may just have gotten to a stage we call Tanner stage 2 or 3,
Wow.
and then they could menstruate
Hmm.
for a short time and the menstruation stops.
Stops. Wow.
While they are menstruating, they could produce eggs and get pregnant.
Wow.
But if they're not lucky to
Hmm.
be married and need kids around those times, they may just not have
Need
eggs when they need them.
again.
So for
Wow.
such, egg finishes quick. Then there are a
Hmm.
lot of other syndromes that make the eggs finish quick. So these are biological ages. You know, and it differs for different women.
People.
And so a woman shouldn't always compare herself to the next woman because these are different.
Yeah.
As I
Hmm.
speak to you right now, there is a program going on in England. Uh, when a girl is born,
Yeah.
for instance, those who are who are co-opted into these studies, you
Yes.
know, a gene profiling is done, and the
Okay.
work of this gene profiling is to see how long their their reproductive age is
Wow.
genetically,
Hmm.
so that they can be advised on what to do with respect to reproduction. If they have to
Yeah.
freeze their eggs,
Hmm.
if they have to get pregnant quick and have their babies in quick successions, and all
Yeah.
of that. So this is a society that value the life of women and
Yes. And their
working to see
fertility.
how to improve on fertility.
Yeah.
So that is a biological age.
Yeah.
So you may need to do a lot of studies to understand what a woman's biological age
Age
is
is.
and how
Hmm.
to advise her with respect to getting pregnant or how to preserve fertility. So that is what chronological age and biological age is.
So in a way, does that means for someone that I'm trying to ask now if this could be genetic for someone that maybe their parents or their mom stepped into menopause very early. So should such a lady also look forward to hers? Like, is it possible too that she could also be at risk of early menopause?
Sure, sure, sure,
Oh,
sure. Yeah, sure.
okay.
She could be at risk of having early menopause
Oh wow.
because you see these things are genetic
Mm,
a lot of the times, and
wow.
a, a a girl or a lady inherits her X chromosomes from her mother. So
Mm,
it means that most of the genetic characters of her mother is likely going to be transferred to her.
mm.
So she could have early menopause if her mother has early
Early
menopause.
menopause. Wow.
Just like we have seen ladies whose mothers uh, have polycystic
Ovary,
ovaries. They
yeah.
have polycystic ovaries, and their
Hmm.
kids have
Already having
polycystic
it.
ovaries. Some of
Wow.
these
Wow.
things could be genetic. So,
Genetic.
if
Hmm.
as a young girl, your mom hinted you that she stopped menstruating
Hmm.
when she was 40, then you should check yourself quickly
Hmm.
because you may just be hitting there at about the same time. It
Yeah.
may not necessarily be, but it's
Yeah.
good to put precautions in place and do
Yeah.
all you could
Hmm.
to preserve fertility.
Yeah.
It's either you get married quickly and have your kids in quick succession,
Hmm.
or you get advanced fertility care where your eggs will be retrieved and
And
frozen,
frozen.
and then you forget about menopause.
Yeah.
Anytime you're ready to have
Exactly.
babies, you use
Hmm.
those eggs to get babies because egg donation becomes order of the day for those whose biological age is quite low and
Yeah.
then who run out of eggs too
Yeah.
early in life.
Hmm. Okay, so we've talked a lot about the woman. So maybe we should talk about the impact of age on the fertility of a man.
Mhm.
Yeah. So what's the impact of age? Yeah, so we've seen how age could actually impact the ovarian function. Even though yeah, we'll still talk a little about age and pregnancy. But with regards the woman now, you've
Mm.
talked about her ovarian function and how it declines. Yeah. I would also want to mention keep dropping your questions and your thoughts, your opinion in the comment section. Would definitely attend to them appropriately. So yeah, well, back to you guys, the men. How does age impact your fertility as a man?
Yeah, well, with the current timing that we're
Yeah,
in right now, before I even talk about the age, let me talk about how technology affects. Well, with respect to sperms of men, these days we
yeah.
see that a lot of abnormalities happen with the sperm, especially the Y arm of the chromosome of man.
Hmm.
A lot of deletions are happening
Wow.
to those to the male characteristics on the
Hmm.
Y chromosomes, and
Wow.
then we have a projection that men are even at risk of being extinct,
Okay.
just the way animals are already being extinct. Some animals
Yeah.
are already getting
Mm.
extinct,
Mm.
and then are becoming endangered species, and then will require some means of preservation of our gender.
Yeah.
So the characteristics that make us men on our Y chromosomes are constantly being deleted.
Wow.
Yes, and this is a big research that
Mm.
has been concluded, and some more work are being done. And if nothing is done about that, you will men will not be in a very good position, you know. But trust science is doing its best to see how some of those work can be concluded to aid in the preservation of the sperms of men.
Yeah.
There is no time in history that the sperms have been under serious attack
Hmm.
as we're having right now.
Wow.
Yeah. For those of us who work in a fertility unit, for instance, I've mentioned it several times or severally that we hardly see normal sperms.
Wow.
We celebrate it when we see normal sperms. And for me, averagely, I get to interpret at least 20 men's sperms on daily basis,
Wow.
aside Sundays.
Oh wow.
Yes, and occasionally some Saturdays. So
Hmm.
Mondays to Fridays, I analyze at least 20 different men's sperms.
Wow. Hmm.
And then what I see
Hmm.
is usually far from normal.
Hmm.
For those fertility experts who are watching, they may want to comment about what they see from their own perspective. Okay,
Yeah.
so this is what we see from our perspective, and this is because of the abnormalities going on with the Y chromosomes and the
Hmm.
lack. I mean the advancement of technology
Yeah.
and the lifestyle that we're living right now. Now, men are exposed to a lot of stressful condition, a lot of oxidative stress is going on, a lot of electronics are going into our body, gadgets everywhere, and
Hmm.
all of these things cause a depletion in quality and quantity of sperms, and they
Hmm.
reduce the capacity of the sperms to make a woman pregnant.
Wow. Hmm.
Yes. And then with respect to deletion of the male characteristics,
Yeah.
it makes it a lot more difficult to have male babies,
Hmm.
and a lot of miscarriages affecting male children,
Wow.
male fetuses.
Yeah.
And then a lot of females are going to be born
Hmm.
following that. So there's a lot of attack going on the male sperms. Okay, so whatever will take to preserve it will be done by sciences.
Yeah.
So, but then with respect to age, as men age, the count of the sperms reduces.
Hmm.
The morphology, that's the structure, the look, the
Yeah.
nature, and the physical characteristics of the sperm also get altered,
Okay.
and
Wow.
then this makes the sperms difficult to achieve their real potential.
Hmm.
With respect to babies, for instance, a lot of abnormalities happens when uh, aged sperms are used to achieve pregnancy.
Pregnancy. Wow.
We're not saying that aging sperm cannot bring about healthy babies. No, it could
Hmm.
bring about healthy babies, and it does bring about healthy babies in a lot of circumstances.
Yeah.
A lot of people conceive spontaneously, and their babies are fine.
Yeah.
You know, but then aging causes a deterioration in sperm's
Hmm.
qualities and the quantity, and then it brings about abnormalities with the babies,
Hmm.
like autism
Hmm.
and
Wow.
criminal tendencies in babies. All of these
Hmm.
have been associated one way or the other to conception using sperms of advanced age men.
Man.
So
Wow.
it affects everyone. Just
Hmm.
the same way it's affecting the woman,
Women.
it's
Yeah.
affecting the man. So men have their biological clock too,
Hmm.
and their chronological clock. So gone are those days when they would
Hmm.
tell us in school that a man can be producing sperm until he's 80 and
Hmm.
100 years.
Hmm.
Yes, it's possible, but the
The
quality of the
quality.
sperms
Hmm.
and the capacity of the sperm to achieve pregnancy and bring about a healthy baby is also reduced.
Hmm.
Now the world has a lot of stressful things going on.
Yeah.
Life is very stressful. Guys have to hustle. You have to do 2 jobs, 3 jobs,
No.
and all kinds
Yeah.
of things. No time to rest, no time to sleep, and
Hmm.
all the consumption of chemicals that we do. They
Yeah.
also affect the quality of sperms, and then it makes it a little difficult to have to achieve pregnancy. And now more miscarriages
Mm.
are attributable to sperm abnormality than to egg abnormality. So if a
Wow.
woman has a miscarriage right now, uh, it's advisable for the man to go look for the reason for the miscarriage and let the woman have some peace, because good number of the miscarriages are because of abnormal sperms.
Wow.
Yeah, because
Mm.
of abnormal sperm. So I think it's good to put the sperms where they belong,
Mm.
to have a
Yeah.
good perspective about the sperms. Yeah, and give it the attention it deserves.
So hey guys watching, it's not the matter of the fact that you produce sperms. Make sure the quality is good. Also-
Let me tell you a joke. Analyze a sperm some point in time,
okay.
and there was nothing in the sperm.
Okay.
And then this guy, sometimes they bring plenty sperms. I mean,
Mm.
the volume,
Yeah.
the seminal fluid, for
Yeah.
instance, could be
Mm.
so much, maybe like 3 mils, 5 mils,
Yeah.
and then hey, there's nothing here, man.
Mhm.
See, how do you mean there's nothing here? You mean all these things here, there's nothing in
Oh
it?
my god.
They don't
Yes.
realize that the sperm cells are not seen with the with just the
Yeah.
eyes. You will see
Yeah.
the sperms under the microscope. Okay,
Yeah.
so most times when you have these fluids, in the sperm container or sperm pods, there
Yeah.
may just be nothing there. You
Mm.
know, yeah,
So
there may just be
that's
nothing
something for
there.
you to take note. It's not just to produce.
And
You
some
need to
girls
check
take
it.
advantage of such people.
Mm.
They double date, you
Mm.
know, and then
Yeah.
they like one other guy who has no sperms,
Mm.
you know, and then they get pregnant with some other guys,
Oh no.
you know,
Wow.
and they say it's this other guy because he has a lot of money. And then he
Yeah.
comes to the hospital
Mm.
to do analysis. I
Yeah.
tell him he has no sperm. He just tells you,
Oh,
but my girlfriend just got pregnant. I said, we don't know how the girlfriend gets
well,
pregnant.
exactly.
What we see
We leave
right
that to
here,
DNA.
we leave that to DNA to analyze. We leave that
Wow.
to the paternity test to
Yeah,
tell who the
yeah.
father of this baby is. But what
Yeah,
we're seeing
right.
here, you have no sperm, and there is no way you would have made a woman pregnant,
Pregnant.
except you're telling us
Immaculate
another
conception.
immaculate conception is happening somewhere.
Oh my god.
We have some smart ladies
Yeah, so you
around.
see, age actually has an impact on everyone. So you
Mm.
don't just point the finger at the woman. As a man, it also has an impact on you. And so it means that once you're aging, the like Dr. Ken would say, the children you're also producing as you age, like when you get to a certain age, the quality is not as if you
But
were
that's
to be
true.
younger.
That's true. That's
So
true.
life is best at your fertility peak, yeah, not
Yeah, yeah.
beyond your
Mm-hmm,
fertility peak,
mm-hmm,
so you're
mm-hmm.
able to maximize. And if you're about exceeding and nothing is happening, you could go ahead and freeze those gametes and
Oh
save your
yeah.
fertility
Mm-hmm,
so you can have healthy offspring.
mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's very
So
true.
okay, so let's talk a little about unmarried people. How should unmarried people factor age into their future fertility plan and decision making?
Yeah,
Because we have a lot of unmarried people now, and then you see
no,
them,
no.
they're
Marriage
over
is marriage is not
35.
marriage is not in vogue.
Yeah.
Marriage is not in vogue. Uh, as it used to be.
Yes, yes.
Less people are getting married for
Even
several reasons. Economy
yeah.
is poor.
Mm.
Well, from guys' perspective, a lot of women want to be career persons, so they want to take care of themselves until they are ready. And
Mm.
guys don't get money, don't make money early in life. You
Yeah.
have to hustle and hustle and
We
hustle
keep hustling.
before you get. I mean, in this from this part of the
Yeah,
world.
yeah.
So marriages are delayed, and when they are delayed, it's time doesn't wait for anyone.
That's true.
You know, your age is increasing,
Yeah.
your garments deteriorating,
Mm.
and then you only get married when you're ready to get married, and at that point there may be no very healthy garments to achieve
Yeah.
pregnancy. So if people are unmarried and fertility is of it's very important, they should consider the option of paying a visit to the reproductive specialists,
Mm.
gynecologists or reproductive biologists, and
Mm.
discuss the prospects of them getting pregnant or having kids or offsprings when they are married.
Mm.
So and then the options now of having to freeze gametes,
Yeah.
or freeze the organ, the ovaries itself, could be discussed depending on
Mm.
the capacity or the technological advancements
Mm.
in that region of the world.
Yeah.
So they could freeze the eggs, they could freeze the gametes, I mean
Mm.
the sperms,
Yeah.
and all of that. um in France right now,
Yeah.
in France,
Mm.
If there's a level of sperms you have and you're still unmarried and you be at have sperms frozen, we concluded a conference, an international conference of
Okay.
experts in assisted reproduction,
Okay.
and we have a very big data presented from France,
Mm.
talking about the prospect of sperms and the
Wow.
deterioration happening to sperms.
Mm.
Okay, so in sperm now, in France, it's like a law. If your sperms gets to certain level, I can't quote the exact level now, but
Yeah.
it's already low. You advise to freeze those sperms. The reason is
Wow.
this: if they are not frozen, you may have a continued deterioration and
Okay.
decline of sperm to the point you don't have them anymore. So
Mm.
when you get married and you're ready to have babies, you will now be advised to use donated sperms. And that's another
Wow.
kettle of fish.
Yeah.
All
Mm.
the social challenges,
I know.
cultural or
Mm.
religious challenges with
Yeah.
accepting gamete donation comes into play. But
Yeah.
it's easier when you know it's your gamete that was frozen. You're
Mm.
just taking it up to achieve pregnancy. The
Yeah.
same thing goes with the ladies. You could freeze your own gamete. You could freeze your own gamete
Mm.
and use it to achieve pregnancy anytime. And even if you choose not to get pregnant, you could donate it to the society.
That's right.
Because people still adopt babies, so they could adopt your oocytes, your eggs, or they
Mm.
could adopt your sperms and
Mm.
get the other half, whether
Yeah.
the eggs or the sperms, and to make
Yeah.
babies by any
Exactly.
means. Because you
Mm.
see, if population is not sustainable, then we're running into a bigger problem that's beyond reproduction.
That's true.
Currently, Japan as a society is around there.
Mm.
you know the fertility rate is extremely low in that region
Wow.
of the world, and there are some other European countries that are running low on population.
Yeah.
And then if population is not there anymore, if you have very low population, it means even political and economic power,
Power.
it's going to wane. So there's a
Yeah.
lot more important things to talk about population. So we just
Yeah.
need to get the population going. Even
Mm.
military power is going to go down if there is no population.
That's
I think
right.
China also realized that, and that
Yeah.
is why the ceiling, the bar has been removed.
Yeah.
Now get
As
pregnant
many
as much
times.
as you want to
Yeah.
get pregnant.
Mm.
And today there are incentives for getting pregnant in some part of the world.
Wow.
Yes, Japan, for instance,
Mm.
incentive. There is an Asian country that recently budgeted billions of dollars
Okay.
just to create room for company for humans,
Wow.
because loneliness,
Oh.
it's wrecking the society
Mm.
beyond human imagination. When I heard about the budget, it was amazing. I was like, oh
Wow.
man, come on, talk about this budget in
Nigeria.
Nigeria. So those are the things we could do. The gametes
Okay.
can be frozen.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm saying this, even in Nigeria, they should consider freezing gametes. Let's keep the population high, because we will get it right one day,
Someday.
very soon, and then
Hopefully.
we'll be one of the superpowers in the world.
Oh yeah, word power. Yeah. So for those that are not married, and yeah, you think you would want to have children later, or even if it's not in your plan, but it doesn't look like marriage is close. Like you said, freeze your egg, freeze your sperms, and save your fertility.
Mm.
So maybe we should talk about a little about the risk associated with advanced age pregnancy. Women that are pregnant at advanced age, what are the risks involved with regards to age and pregnancy?
So this
Mm.
is obstetrics now, and good enough. I am an obstetrician.
Yeah.
So when a woman gets pregnant at an advanced age,
Mm.
she is prone to having metabolic diseases in pregnancy.
Wow.
Yeah, some
Okay.
of them, not everyone.
Mm.
Pregnancy seems to be easier for younger age group than for the older age group.
Okay. Mm.
For older age group, your cells are already wearing out, and you remember
Yeah.
aging is a gradual process of dying, even
Yeah.
if you are healthy. So you can
Yes,
imagine
that's true.
somebody, part of death,
And then adding pregnancy to it.
adding pregnancy to it. Your cells may
Oh my God.
be really burdened to
Yeah.
carry pregnancy.
Mm.
So risk of having hypertension in pregnancy,
Mm.
the eclampsia. Some are already hypertensive before even embarking on the journey for pregnancy. So they
Mm.
are chronic hypertensive,
Wow.
and they could have a superimposed preeclampsia on it.
Because of
Then
pregnancy.
eclampsia is another extreme of the hypertensive crisis in pregnancy,
Yeah.
where you have the convulsions and all
Mm.
of that.
Oh. Mm.
So it makes the prospects of you staying healthy during pregnancy very reduced.
Mm.
The risk of having gestational diabetes, for instance, is also
Yeah.
high.
Hi.
You know,
Oh,
when you're
wow.
advancing in age, more so if you have family history
Mm.
of sugar problems or
Yeah.
diabetes. You know,
Mm.
so those are things. Then of course miscarriages
Wow. Okay.
tend to be more frequent with
Mm.
advanced
Age
age than
pregnancy.
with younger age group.
Wow.
More so if it has to do with the quality of gametes. You know, so hospitalization is
Mm.
higher. You
Wow.
know,
Mm.
hospitalization is higher. Then the chances of having the risks of having operative intervention, operative delivery is also high when a woman is
Advanced
pregnant.
in
Then
age.
of course maternal mortality, even
Hmm.
with morbidity, seems to be higher
Wow.
with advanced age.
Hmm.
So aging and fertility don't seem to do well when you are
Very
getting
well.
advanced. But
Yeah.
it's not to say you can't get pregnant if that's what's left for you. You know,
Mm.
get pregnant at advanced age. You just need to be under the care of an obstetrician,
Yeah.
so all the signs could be interpreted and monitored
Hmm.
closely. You know, so yeah, it's not usually
So
a
this is
very
not to
interesting
scare
time.
someone that is advanced in age. You
Hmm.
could actually still scale through. Just make sure you are in the hands of a very good doctor, or you are being managed by very good personnel like Dr. Ken and the Alps team. Yeah. Okay, so we have a question. Can women who do not have eggs completely opt for IVF?
Oh, sure.
Okay.
Sure. Yeah, if you don't have eggs, if you want to get pregnant, one of the ways to get pregnant is by um by IVF using
Okay.
egg donation. You know, this morning my daughter engaged me in a very
Okay.
heated genetic discussion. You know,
Mm.
I woke up and met her studying, and she's been in love with genetic engineering,
Okay.
and she told me that she just came across uh, a publication elsewhere where you could make an egg from the skin of a woman,
Wow.
and then you could get her pregnant,
Mm.
you know, by those means. And I told her, yes, even in Christianity, for instance, the account of creation
Yeah.
where God made the first
Eve.
woman,
Yeah.
according to the Bible, you know,
Yes.
that it was from the ribs of a man, which
Yeah.
is equivalent to the skin of somebody. You
Yeah.
know, so yeah, a lot is happening with reproduction. Okay, so even without eggs, you could get pregnant by several means.
Mm.
You could get pregnant. There's a prospect of having precursor stem cells,
Oh, wow.
and stem cells itself, you
Mm.
know, produce and injected to the ovaries, and then you could begin to produce eggs to an extent that you could get pregnant. But the
Wow.
straightforward way is by egg donation. It's easier, it's faster, it's more result oriented, it's not very invasive to
Mm.
you who is taking the egg donation and all of
Yeah.
that. So, but then looking at the future, we could just get eggs out of any part of the human body. And
Well.
then to make it sound crazy, you
Mm.
could even make the eggs out of a man's body.
Oh,
Oh
wow.
yeah. So it's just
Fertility
how you
world.
see it,
Mm.
how you see it. So it's all about understanding the biology of the human.
So we have a very long read as a question. How can a woman do with unwanted hair around the neck, body, etc., and not menstruating more than a year or once a year, and no pregnancy for 8 years with constant sex, and the man's sperm are okay after a series
I
of
like the
tests?
word constant sex. I've not heard that word before. In
Round the
gynecology
clock
in gynecology we say the regular
sex.
sexual intercourse. This
This
is a
is constant,
constant sex.
like round the clock.
Yeah, I
Oh
could
yeah.
understand what she's talking about. Okay,
Mm.
it's a very it's a pathetic situation. So from what the picture she painted is a
Yeah.
picture of a syndrome, a polycystic ovary disease. You
Mm.
know, that's where you have a abnormal distribution of hairs in the
Hair.
body. A
Mm.
woman doesn't see her menstruation for months or even years, and in
Mm.
that case, of course, you can have sex every minute and no
Nothing is
pregnancy.
happening.
So it's a metabolic condition, it's a genetic condition, it's
Okay.
possibly polycystic ovary disease. So
Mm.
she needs to be seen by an advanced gynecologist who will guide her on all the options of getting pregnant, beginning from understanding the degree of polycystic ovary, whether
Mm.
it's a first grade phenotype A, phenotype B, C, or D. This
Mm.
looks like C or D anyway,
Mm.
and then see what prospect is it of producing eggs from such a woman, because end the end pathway may just be getting pregnant with an egg donation. You know, So she needs to be evaluated,
So
yeah,
for
by
this
a
person that asked
gynecologist.
this question, you could further chat us up privately so we could guide you on how you could have a consultation, an online consultation with the doctor.
It bothers me because
Mm.
I'm looking at doing a possibility of doing um and it's, how do you call it, excursion to schools,
Okay. Mm.
because a lot of young girls in
Yeah.
secondary school age group are
Yes.
having polycystic ovaries.
Very true.
One, because diet has changed, so
Yeah.
it makes the expression of polycystic ovary early for these
Yes.
young
True.
girls.
True.
They eat a lot, they play a lot, they watch TV a lot, they eat a lot of junk,
Sedentary
and they
life
have a
and
lot
all.
of weight,
Yeah.
obesity. So you
Mm.
see all of this. So if kids are not trained to live healthy and eat healthy, for
Mm.
instance, in Japan, if you ask them what their best snacks is, the young girls, you could see them telling you vegetables,
Mm.
cauliflower,
Oh wow.
broccoli.
Yeah.
Those
No.
are what they see as snacks.
Wow.
But
And
if in
that's
Nigeria,
healthy.
for instance,
It
it's
can't
donuts,
be. Yeah.
meat pie,
Oh yeah.
and
Shawarma.
donuts, meat pie, shawarma, pizza, and
I
all
know.
of those.
Yeah.
All of these are not ready. They're not food that should be eaten regularly.
That's
Otherwise, you
true.
have abnormal metabolism. And if
Mm.
you are already having the gene for polycystic ovary, this can predispose you to all of those. So eating healthy,
Mm.
it's very important, especially for young kids.
So I really hope we've
Mm.
been able to attend to your question. Yeah, you might not be able to get the full answers you seek, but with an online consultation, if you're far from just, yeah, you could get the answers to your questions and you would be duly guided. So we have another question. Can eggs be frozen from age 45?
Oh, wow. Yes, it can be frozen. Everything is possible, but the prospect of having good eggs at the age of 45 is very slim. So if
Mm,
you're getting an egg from a 45-year-old woman, the chances that these eggs are good is just about 5 to 8%. You know, so why don't you consider freezing it when you could have good eggs, up to seventy
mm,
percent good eggs when you are below 30, below 35? Because from 37, for instance, just about 30% of eggs are good. If that is the time you have and you're hearing about this and you want to freeze it, it's okay. But that's not the best time to freeze egg because they may not be of good quality to survive the freezing and may just be a waste of fund and a waste of effort. The best time to freeze eggs is when you're pretty young. And for
no,
me, young, less than 35.
yeah.
We have had women froze eggs at 39 and
Mm,
40,
yeah.
and they got pregnant with those,
Wow,
but not
wow.
many of them.
Yes, that's
Because
true.
at those points, uh, genetically or biologically already getting old, the
Yeah,
quality of eggs may not be great. So
yes.
freeze them when you can make good use of them. I
Mm,
mean, when they have a good prospect of bringing about pregnancy
yeah.
or bringing about survival of the eggs.
Okay. So I think this person, are you just joining? Because we talked about freezing a man's sperm. So he's asking, can a man also freeze his sperm?
Free
Which
sperm all the
he
time.
answered, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, free sperm all the times. Yes, men can freeze the sperms, and also the best time to freeze the sperm is when you're young. And if you ask me, when you're getting to 35 years old, I mean 35 years as a man, and then even if you have good sperms and then you're not married,
Mm,
you should also consider freezing your sperms.
mm,
There are a lot
wow.
of reasons why sperm should be frozen. When you're not cohabiting with your spouse, you don't live with your wife, and
Mm,
you're going to go on special assignments that is very risky. You're going to fight, you're going for peacekeeping assignments,
mm,
for war,
yeah,
special assignment elsewhere, and then your wife is not going to be going with you, and you don't know when you're coming back,
yeah,
or you're coming back at all.
yeah,
You could freeze the sperm. So there are a lot of reasons, but for age-related reasons,
yes.
you're single, and you're not married. You're getting to 35 as a guy. Yes, please. You may not have heard this before, but hear it for the first time.
Yeah.
Consider freezing those sperms.
Oh yeah. So that so I really I know we really had a very amazing session today. Yes, it's been so good having you with Dr. Ken. You're always an amazing person to be with.
Thank you.
And our viewers, I'm sure they also had a very good time. Dear viewers, keep dropping your questions. If we're not able to take them now, we'll definitely attend to them privately. But I must say, it's been amazing having you, our dear viewers, get glued to your screen just to watch and learn from this session. Continue to share this link, continue to like, continue to tell your friends about it, inform as many as you can, and yes, keep staying tuned because we have something big coming your way something big coming your way. I hope your ears, your eyes are open, your ears are down to hear and see what's gonna happen just very soon. But yeah, we're definitely going to bring something big your way. It's been amazing once again having you guys. Thank you for staying tuned. Have a lovely evening.
Yeah,
Bye.
thank
The
you.